boys and girls. Today we are going to be doing social studies. So this is how it's going to work out from here on out. Every other day we're going to be working on science and social studies. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday will be science, and every Tuesday and Thursday will be social studies. So let's get started. Today we are going to be practicing and learning about map skills, how to read a map. So let's go ahead and get started. Today's learning objective is I will understand how to read and use a map. Now, you're probably wondering, what is a map? There are different types of maps in this world. Have you ever used a map? Have you used one physically or a digital map? So, why don't we go ahead and define what a map really is? The definition of a map is basically a representation of a location, a specific location. So Texas is located in the United States, but where exactly is in the United States? That is where a map would become handy, because map gives us information about a place and how to get around. So it's really important that we learn this skill so that it will help us trying to find where your house is from the school, or to find out where your house is to your grandparents' house or to your friend's house. So these are important skills that we need to know. There are four main components to a map. So we're going to talk about each and every one of them. So the first one is the title. So every map has a title. Basically what the title tells you is what the map is, and it is usually found on the top or bottom of a map. So with the image that you have in front of you, it is a map of Europe, okay? So the title is right here, as it says the title. So the title is Europe, because this particular map is only talking about Europe. You're gonna get different types of maps that represent different locations. And if you don't know what, honestly, if you don't know what, country or city that you're looking at, you always go to the title to help you out. If there's no title, you are not going to know where you are you? No. So it's always important to recognize where to find the title of every single type of map. Usually they're at the top or the bottom. So for this one, this is a map of Europe. When it says political, it means it's talking about the names of the cities and the capitals, things like that. So really important to understand. So the first thing about maps that you need to know is titles, and we have three more to discuss. All right, this is a very important one. So the second thing you need to know about maps is the scale. So the scale is the relationship between distance on a map and the actual distance on Earth. So the visual that you have in front of you, if we had a map, all maps have this scale that you can measure with a ruler. But can you really measure miles with a ruler? No, that wouldn't make any sense. So we have a scale that helps us represent how much distance is from one place to another using a ruler, but translating that into actual miles. So as you can see here, we have the graphite scale. So we have 1, 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4 miles. That's how it's saying. So it's saying that this scale is going to be represented in miles. But the verbal scale, because it's on a piece of paper, 1 inch is going to equal 1 mile. So if you were to take a ruler from point A to point B, and it is 12 inches, that basically tells you that it represents 12 miles in the real world. Most scales on maps represent miles, kilometers, meters, depending on what map that you are working with and where you are in the world. So very important to understand that. All right, the key. The key, this is found on the bottom of every map that you're going to see. And what the key does, the map key tells you what the symbols on the map stand for. So every type of map is different, and they have different types of pictures or symbols that will tell you what those actually mean. So with the picture in front of you, it gives you a drawing and the label so that you know what picture goes with what label. So if we were to go down through here, So as you can see, there's a specific picture for land, water, mountains, forests, small town, city, river, hospital, police, fire station, park, and road. So if you were to, and this is what you're going to be practicing later throughout the week, you're actually going to be practicing looking at a map and identifying, okay, where is the land on this map? And then you would have to look at your key to find, oh, the land looks like this. So I'm going to go back into the map and look for it. There it is. And then you actually label it. So map keys are there to help you understand where certain things are located, whether it be a road, river, and so on. So that is the third important part of a map that you need to know. The last one, and this is very important, is the compass rose. So with the image right here, a compass rose basically gives you a visual of, on a map, where north, south, east, and west is. So a compass rose is an image that appears on maps to identify the four main directions: north, south, east, and west. So as you can see with the picture, north is always at top, south is always on bottom, east is right, west is left. Now you're also noticing that there are directions in between each of those, because not everything is always going to be exactly north, east, south, and west. Sometimes they're going to be northeast. So if you look between N and E, that direction is northeast. Between E and S, that's southeast. Between S and W is southwest. Between W and N is always northwest. I don't know if you've already noticed, but north and south always come first when we're talking about two directions at the same time. So it's either northwest, northeast, or it's southeast, southwest. So the north and south will always be the first location that you will name, and then followed by the second one. Okay. All right. Well, this wraps up our review and introduction to how to read a map and understand the four main components of a map. If you go, make sure you go back to the anchor chart that was posted earlier so that you can write that down into your notes. Now is the time to go back into Schoology and continue your lessons for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I cannot wait to see you next time. Farewell!